Welcome back to The Truth with Trinity, and I am your host, Trinity. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I'd like to send you a warm welcome. Here, I talk about issues that happen within the black community, hopefully for some resolution or at least some food for thought to go about your daily way. So, without further ado, I'd like to jump into this episode's topic, which is: are black people censored or silenced from talking about race and ethnicity in America? So, as we all know, the Tokyo Olympics are fastly approaching us, and I'd like to talk about a new story about an Olympic swimmer of African descent and with African textured hair. She requested to wear her soul cap, and this is a cap that's designed for African Americans or people with natural hair that their hair type can't fit into the standard swimming caps, okay? She was denied this request for the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. So she's being told that no, if your hair doesn't fit, you can't wear any other swim cap. It has to be the standard swim cap. Now we have some white commenters who are stating that she should have to shave her hair, okay? And stop being such a crybaby. And I think this, represents a lot of the mindset of white America. Okay, so they're not looking at the fact that the swimming caps are, designed for people with straight hair, with flat hair. Okay, and they're not looking at the fact that no one's asking to be singled out, but this particular woman doesn't want to have to straighten her hair. Okay, and they're telling her to stop being a crybaby. Okay, that she's being sensitive. Okay, but no one tells Caucasians this when they voice their concerns of issues. Okay, it's only told to black people, mainly in this country. And one commenter asked why blacks had never complained about the swimming caps before. And I think the reason why is because more and more black women are starting to be back in touch with their own natural hair. And I think the more black women are starting to want to come out and say, hey, I don't have to have, straight hair. My hair doesn't have to be stringy. I can wear my own hair and be beautiful. And therefore, my hair is not going to fit in what you tell me. I'm not going to fit in this box that you've created for me. And just because this box fits for you, just because this swim cap fits for your straight flat hair, doesn't mean that I should make my hair have to conform to your flat hair. Okay? And I think this mindset is what has been and continues to be at the heart of America in regards to black people being silenced about anything that pertains to them as black people. Meanwhile, Caucasians have the privilege to not only discuss and dictate other people's perception about race. Okay, so white people for so long have had the privilege to dictate to other people how they should feel about their own race. Okay, but they are allowed to openly celebrate their heritage and race without any criticism. So there are always a lot, not all, but a lot of Caucasians. They come down on people for wanting to mention or celebrate their own individuality as a race of people. Telling them to be quiet about their own heritage and race. Meanwhile, Caucasians have always had this special privilege to be able to voice and bombard other people with their own heritage, and everyone else should be proud of their heritage too, it seems like, and they don't get any criticism about it. And I like to talk about some of the ways that this happens within our country. Number one, a lot of white people are allowed to dictate and place labels on other ethnicities. Like, for example, the first black pilot, the first African American uh, ballerina, the first Negro, this or that, without it ever being seen as prejudice or racist. And I say that because, if black people start saying about the first white rapper, the first white, this or that, they would have a problem with it, but they don't see it being a problem in reverse. Number two, a lot of Caucasians mention and always teach about the history of slavery through their twisted reality, so how they perceive it. Okay, and so this is the only thing that they teach about and talk about in the history lessons of our children. Yet, when black people attempt to mention slavery as a part of their history, okay, white people often tell black people to just forget about it, okay? So they don't tell Jewish people to forget about their Holocaust. Okay, so they're not telling themselves to forget about their queens of England. They're not telling them to forget about any of that. Okay, and that our history goes and supersedes far past just slavery. So this is the only thing that they choose to mention about our history. Okay, so then when we bring it up as African Americans as part of the legacy of what Europeans had as far as slavery, and then what we had to endure in our ancestors. Like I said, if Jewish people don't have to forget the Holocaust, why are black people required to forget about slavery and our heritage and history, just because it doesn't tickle their ears to hear about their history that's intertwined with the roots of slavery? Okay, yet Caucasians and other races of people never have to forget about their history or ancestors. Like I said, they never have to forget, but why are we forced to forget? Okay, or encouraged to forget? Number three, many Caucasians claim that black people are only obsessed with race, so we're the only ones obsessed with race. Anytime that said black person mentions about being proud of their black heritage, so anytime that we mention something about being proud of our skin, being proud of our hair, okay, or express being proud of a black leader, politician, celebrity, or black role model, anytime we say something about being proud of that, we're the ones being upset. We're titled or deemed being obsessed with race. Black people are also accused of obsessing about race anytime they confront a prejudiced or racist minded Caucasian who tries to hide their racism. So if we try to call out a white person for being racist, they're doing everything, in the windows and passive aggressive. And if we call them out on it, then we're accused. So this is a mind game. Then we're accused of being racist, and they twist it by twisting it to accuse black people of being racist. Okay, just because we call it out. Okay, and, that's not working in 2021 for a lot of black people. We're not falling for that same mind trickery and foolery. Many whites claim that race doesn't matter, only as a form of deflection anytime black people attempt to mention any subject that is non white and does not pertain to them. Okay, so they can talk about the white princess and the white this and the white fairy. So everything's whitewashed in this country. But anytime black people mention something that does not pertain to their white world, then it's race doesn't matter, as if to say your race doesn't matter. So for them, so when they say it, it's supposed to be that race just doesn't matter, period, in their eyes. But that couldn't be furthest from the truth. They're always talking about race in this country, from Netflix, from the titles to they're categorized opinions on other races of people. But anytime a black person or any other person, especially black people, say something that is non-white, that's not about them, then all of a sudden race just doesn't matter. Okay? This country was built on the very concepts they continue to deny, and that still exists to this very day. In other words, many Caucasians relish the fact they can live with the privileges just as long as blacks aren't bold enough or have the courage to speak about it. Okay, so they love living in the privilege long as you're not telling them about it. Okay, so long as you're being quiet about it. So the real questions are that I'd like to leave you with: could white Americans handle if everything wasn't tailor made specifically for them? Like, you have white swimming caps, and you have for white textured hair or flat hair, and for example, you have black swimming caps. Okay? Number two, could white people handle if other races of people categorized and sectioned them off in regards to their hair type or color, nose shape, from our skin color, from pale to slightly olive skin, teeth, etc., etc.? Could white people handle being scrutinized and ostracized for every little intricate detail that may be different? What if pale was considered a curse or very unattractive? Could they deal with that? And the darker you were, the more beautiful you were, and the more pale you were, the more sicklier that you would seem. Could they handle that? In reverse. Number three, could Caucasians deal with others telling them to be quiet if they tried to mention anything about their heritage? Okay? If they tried to mention anything about their race of people, could white people handle being told to be quiet? That no one wants to hear about your white queens. No one wants to hear about your white history in school, especially when it's a classroom full of black children. That their history is boring. Could they handle that the way they talk to other people and tell other people that their race is boring, that their history is boring? I wonder could Caucasians handle that as a whole? And I lastly ask, what do you think? So I'm asking my viewers out there, excuse me, not viewers, you're not really viewing, but you're listening. I'm asking my listeners out there, what do you think? Please leave a comment down in the description box. Or this, in the description box in the comment box, okay? Also, if I point out something or mention something that resonated with you, please hit the like button. And if you would like to be notified when more content becomes available, don't forget to hit the notification and the subscribe button. And that pretty much concludes this episode. It's been a pleasure talking with you all. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can reach me at thetruthwithtrinity.com. You can also listen to my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And always remember, if you can't tell the truth with anyone else, you can with Trinity. Till next time, take care.